Have you ever watched a conversation unfold at work, online, or even among friends, and wondered why the loudest, most ill-informed voice always seems to win? Why does the person who knows the least act the most confident? And why do the ones with insight, the ones who could actually make a difference, stay quiet? This isn't just a modern frustration. It's an ancient pattern, and Niccolò Machiavelli saw it coming centuries ago. Throughout history, from the Roman Senate to modern boardrooms, there's a disturbing trend. The wise hesitate while the foolish dominate. But why? Why do intelligence, self-awareness, and reflection often become liabilities in a world that rewards noise over nuance, certainty over complexity? Today we'll explore why smart people retreat, why fools rise, and what Machiavelli can teach us about this paradox. This isn't just philosophy. It's a psychological and political reality that shapes the world around you every single day. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. In The Prince, Machiavelli warned, "A wise man does at once what a fool does at last." But what he didn't say is that sometimes the wise man never does it at all. Because by the time the fool has taken action, loudly, confidently, and without hesitation, the wise are still evaluating, calculating, doubting. Smart people are trained by education, by experience, by introspection, to see nuance. They understand that most problems don't have simple solutions. They recognize uncertainty. And most importantly, they fear being wrong more than they crave being heard. That's the wisdom trap. When intelligence meets insecurity, silence follows. Meanwhile, the fool doesn't care about being wrong. He craves validation, not truth. And in a world where confidence is mistaken for competence, the fool gains ground, while the smart person stays silent, waiting for the right moment that never comes. Consider Socrates, one of the wisest men in history. He questioned the assumptions of his society, exposed contradictions in thinking, and urged people to think for themselves. And for that, he was sentenced to death. Why? Because wisdom threatens the herd, because reflection slows momentum, because in societies built on illusion, truth is a liability. Socrates wasn't executed because he was dangerous with a sword. He was dangerous with a question. This is the psychological burden of intelligence. When you think deeply, you question everything. And when you question everything, you hesitate to speak, because you've already imagined every way you might be wrong. That hesitation? It's fatal in a world that rewards quick answers and punishes thoughtful ones. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger discovered something terrifying. The less you know, the more confident you are. And the more you know, the more you doubt. This is the Dunning-Kruger Effect, and it's everywhere, from internet debates to presidential elections. The fool believes he's a genius. The genius fears he's a fool. And this isn't just theory. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Leadership and Organizational Studies found that people with high intelligence were less likely to be chosen as leaders because they appeared aloof, complicated, or uncertain. Meanwhile, less competent individuals were chosen more often because they appeared confident. Think about that. We don't follow the best thinkers, we follow the best performers. Niccolò Machiavelli didn't romanticize leadership. He stripped it bare. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He understood that power wasn't about who deserved it. It was about who took it. Fools often rise to power because they're willing to do what the wise are not. Oversimplify, manipulate, pretend to have all the answers. The wise speak in probabilities. The fool speaks in absolutes. In uncertain times, people don't want nuance. They want certainty. And so, they follow the loudest voice, not the smartest one. Machiavelli's brilliance was not in glorifying deception, but in exposing the uncomfortable truth. Power does not go to the most thoughtful. It goes to the most ruthless actor in the room. Smart people don't just fear being wrong. They fear being excluded. They fear saying something others won't understand or accept. They fear being called arrogant, difficult, or too intense. So they shrink. They edit their thoughts. They water themselves down. They choose peace over clarity, even when it costs them their dignity. This silence isn't stupidity, it's self-preservation. But in the long run, it becomes self-sabotage. Because when the wise stay silent, the stage is left to the loudest, and the loudest often have the least to say. Walk into any corporate office, and you'll see the pattern. The person who speaks most in meetings is rarely the most informed, but they're the ones who get promoted. A 2020 study from Harvard Business Review found that confidence consistently outperforms competence in performance evaluations. Those who appeared certain, whether right or wrong, were seen as leaders. Those who hesitated, even thoughtfully, were seen as weak. This is the illusion of leadership in modern systems. We don't reward wisdom, we reward volume. And when the smart speak softly, the fools become managers. History is full of moments when silence became complicity. In the 1930s, Germany, many of the most educated, rational citizens stayed quiet, hoping it would all pass. In Stalinist Russia, intellectuals vanished, first in voice, then in body. Silence does not protect you, it invites the wolves. Machiavelli warned, "He who seeks to be good all the time will come to ruin among the many who are not good." Wisdom without courage is ornamental, and history punishes those who wait too long to speak. If you're someone who sees the flaws, the cracks, the contradictions in everything, you have a responsibility, not just to observe, but to speak. You don't have to shout, but you must not stay silent. Train your voice, even if it shakes. Speak truth with clarity, even if no one claps. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs earned noise, thoughtful defiance, informed courage. The goal isn't to become like the fool. It's to stop letting the fool set the terms. Machiavelli did not admire corruption. He understood it. He held up a mirror to human nature, and what he saw was this. Power gravitates toward boldness, not necessarily intelligence. But that doesn't mean the intelligent must stay powerless. It means they must learn to play a different game, one where silence is not wisdom, it's surrender, and where speaking, despite the fear, becomes an act of rebellion. So ask yourself, where have you stayed quiet when you should have spoken? Where have you let confidence win over competence? This world is loud, but if enough of us speak with clarity and courage, we can be louder. And when the wise finally speak, they don't just take control, they change everything.